Good afternoon, folks. Today is July 5th, the beginning of July. Um, Hopefully it'll be a little quieter today than it was 3:30 last night, so we can hear each other. We're going to continue on with our instructions on um, uh, what we've been doing what everybody's been doing on Thursday nights over the last few months is going through the process from step one, step two, step three. As you go along, you want to stay with your instructor, let them know where you're at, and so that they can take you by the hand and lead you forward. So you want to make sure that you tell them where you are. And today we're going to touch on again in step forward. So if you're not in step four yet of the triple R 247/RRR. That's what we're talking about. You want that to be your Bible. That's what you're going to follow very closely all the way. Episode 8 goes along with that also. So, you want to stay with that too. Keep yourself updated on that. A lot of the programs keep changing. Rory keeps adding to it. So you always want to check on it, even if you already saw it once, especially the triple R. You want to keep checking on it to see what's added, if anything. You always want to be on the top of your game. So today, Larry is going to help us with step 4 in working and getting Google AdSense. Okay, so take it away, Larry.
Thanks, Tom. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And can you see that screen okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as Tom says, step 4, and like Rory said, he keeps repeating himself for a reason. And there's a reason to repeat myself today because last time I presented, I did Google AdSense, but there's always stuff that you can add to it that can help you. So, um, are you ready for Google AdSense? Give your customers and readers a reason to go to your PBS webpage. And that's a direct quote from Google AdSense. If you don't get people to go to your webpage, there's no reason to have Google AdSense, right? So Google AdSense pays you for clicks. So when you have people, your customers, and your readers go into your webpage, they click on the ads. And you definitely want them to do that because that's how you get paid. But if your PBS looks the same as Rory's or Donna's or Tom's or mine, then you are not ready for Google AdSense. Read on and we can help you get Google AdSense in a shorter amount of time. So this first part I did last time I presented, so I'm going to go over it, but I'm just going to kind of skim it because there's a lot more at the bottom that I've added. So you can understand if you get denied by Google for Google AdSense, and there's a place that can help you find out why you're being denied. So what is Google AdSense? Google AdSense is a free tool website owners use to place Google ads on their sites. This Google advertising tool connects you, the website owner, with advertisers so that you can display ad content. How does it work? When you register for Google AdSense, Google uses an ad auction system to place ads on your website. These ads are chosen based on your website's niche, as well as the subjects that site visitors are interested in. Then in return for hosting Google Ads, Google will pay you a commission for each click the ads receive. Here we have some helpful suggestions on getting Google AdSense. Make sure all your pages are original except your affiliate disclosure page. Keep that as an original page. Just keep it the way it's written. All pages need to be checked through the plagiarism part of duplicchecker.com and be at least 97% original. After a while, you probably will not need to use a duplicate checker as you will get used to writing original content. Create a contact us page that is now required by Google. Get your example from 1f16.com. Do not publish any of these pages. No cruelty to animals. No male phoenix page. A lot of these you probably won't recognize because you're too new to know that some of these are really old pages. But if you've been around a long time and do not have Google AdSense, you may have these pages. So no male phoenix page, no gun holster pages, nothing sexual in your PBS ever, nothing aimed at children 13 or younger in your PBS ever. Make sure you have no more than 3 items in your drop-down menu in each category on the left menu. Some people are saying 4, but I think Google is still saying 3 items. Make sure your menu label corresponds to your pages. In other words, if you have a menu item that says activewear for women, make sure it points to a page that says activewear for women. Everybody understand that? Okay, make sure you have no more than 90 items in your menu, which is actually a WordPress limitation. Make sure there is no mention of wine in your 2 posts that you have on your homepage. Make sure there is nothing in your post that says sale or savings. You want to place ads to get people to your PBS. Now, actually, Google has come out saying that if you don't have an X amount of people coming to your website, they're not going to approve you. So you gotta place ads. So that way, I have the 10th thing here says C9 above, place your ads. 11C 9 above also. So you need to place ads. Place those ads. Change the date on each page to correspond to when you started working on them. Do not change the date afterwards. So in other words, if you're starting a page today, make sure it has today's date on it, not a date 2 weeks from now. It's highly suggested to have your instructor check your PBS before you apply for Google AdSense. An extra set of eyes on your PBS can see a lot more things than you can because you're thinking, hey, it looks really great. But then when we come into it, there may be little tweaks that you need to do to make it even better. Okay, category pages.
Can I say something, Larry?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, just for clarification, now that you're on your category pages, if you move up again where you were talking about the menus and 90, if you can explain that right there, number 6.
Number 6. Make sure you have no more than 90. Yeah, I'm sorry. So make sure you have no more than 90 items in your menu.
The menu, clarifying menu.
Yeah, the menu is the item on the left-hand side of your PBS. It's you can have drop down. Let me open up mine here real quick. Give me just a second. I'll show you.
Just your main site. Yeah.
Okay. So this is my home page. It has my 2 posts here on the home page. Then on the left-hand side, this is your menu. Okay. So in your menu, you can actually have drop downs. Say, for example, I have a drop down under arts and entertainment that gives all things arts and entertainment and cartoon animation cells. The next one down is beauty and cosmetics that has all things beauty and cosmetics, hair extensions, cosmetics, and the Whoa body scrubber. I haven't updated all my pages yet from the C&D, so that's why I still have them in here. Blockchain innovation. So all these drop downs, you cannot have more than 90 items in this menu. However, when you go to say like cooking, food, and wine, I only have 3 items other than the all cooking, food, and wine page. So if I'm going to this page, it goes to my category page, and I can have as many items on this page as I feel necessary. Of course, like I said, there's a lot of them here that I haven't updated yet, like the redneck barbecue sauce. Things that I haven't cleaned up, like the churro maker, I have to take out. So, but you can have as many on this category page as you want. Okay, as long as your menu does not go over 90 items in your menu.
That's the catalog, including the sub titles.
Right. Like clothing and apparel. And then I have all things clothing and apparel. That's for our mobile devices. So as long as you don't have over 90 items in this menu, you're okay. I've never reached 90 or above 90, so I'm not sure what WordPress would do if I had more than 90. I don't think anybody's had that experience yet that I know of.
Yeah, hopefully that's clear for especially the new people.
Right. Okay. Where was I? Okay, category pages. Make sure your navigation is simple to use. Look at the left menu, or look at the menu to the left. Is it in alphabetical order? So if we look at my menu here, everything is in alphabetical order. So make sure that that's in alphabetical order. Your clothing and or your submenus, make sure those are in alphabetical order. If you don't know how to put these in alphabetical order, I'll show you. We go to menus, and here's your menu. So these are all in alphabetical order. So we got arts and entertainment, and the next menu is actually beauty and cosmetics. And then in the submenu, you'll notice that this is in alphabetical order also on each one. Okay. And then here's the example of everything being in alphabetical order. Okay, make sure the headings in your category pages are the same in all things category pages. Okay, so we're going to go back here again. We're going to go back to my main page. So say, for example, we do blockchain innovation. If we go to that page, all these items here, blockchain, cryptocurrency, crypto mining watch, are the exact same thing as on the all things blockchain innovation. Okay, so you see how they're all the same. Now they may be worded differently. Google will come back and say, if you don't change these, Google will come back and say duplicate content. So you don't want your category page and your all things category page to be exactly the same. You do want them to be a little bit different. So that's where I explain that in this item here. So I took my cartoon animation cells, which are the same on both pages, but see how they're actually differently worded. They say the same thing, but they just worded differently. Okay. Okay, we're going to go back up here, and we were... Make sure all of your pictures have alt text attached to them as well as links. We want to have our low vision customers able to see your pictures as well as anybody that can see. Okay, make sure.
Larry,
Yes.
can I add one thing here? For the new people especially, make sure that you don't change the names of your category pages. They should be exactly like Rory has placed them.
Okay. I'm going to add that into this page here, but I'll do it after our training here.
He spent a lot of time and money researching that, and they're what they're called for a reason.
Okay, so basically what Donna is talking about is your menu. Okay, do not change the name of your menus. Okay, and say for example, blockchain innovation, you're talking about keeping these the same also, right, Donna?
I would as much as possible.
Yeah, keep them
Because
all
your
the same.
content's going to be totally different. So, but keep those, at least the category pages, they should be just like Rory has them here. And
Right.
the other ones is for the anchor offers, especially leave those like the titles and the keywords the way they are.
Right.
And just make sure they match on the category pages as well as the drop down.
I couldn't imagine how much money Rory has been put into this by him and Tanya, but
crazy amount.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, pages. Make sure every single page has green SEO and green readability. Make sure the date is correct when starting a new page before publishing it. That's the date that you started that page. So if you started a new page today, then it will have today's date on it. Have at least 2 pictures on each offer page. However, Google likes 3. And depending on how long that page is, you could actually have more than 3 pictures. It just depends on how many words you have in your page. Make sure you have at least 5 to 10 original pages in your PBS. In other words, recipes, stories about trips you've taken, what you love about your state, etc. Make sure you have at least 77 published pages in your PBS. This is a bare minimum for our PBS. 67 pre-written and 10 original pages. Some people say you don't need 10, but that's a safe number, okay, to get approved.
Okay, Larry. In reference to the pictures there, a good rule of thumb now, especially when you're creating new pages, you want to have about 900 words. If you don't know about how many pictures to put in, you can judge by putting in a picture for every 300 words. You can figure it that way.
Right. Now,
and you can stagger it right, left, right, you know.
Right. Now, somebody was saying that, I guess, Tom, you referred to 900 words on a page.
Yeah, that's
so when I go back here, of course, you know, I've already been approved for Google AdSense. If you go in and say, for example, you go to contact us. There's not 900 words there. Okay, and this was basically written by Rory. I just modified it just a little bit. However,
I do kind of want to intervene there because what Tom is talking about is a brand new Google thing, and Tony just brought it to attention. And Google is requiring that pages be 900 words or more. It's a new
Right.
thing. I don't know how strict they're going to be on it. So, in the past, especially being that you already have AdSense, it's not going to
Yeah.
pertain to that. So, that's
Right.
not really a great example. Going forward, 900 is what we're shooting for.
Right. And somebody said they couldn't find out how many words were on the page, but if you just go into your little menu here and you go to, I believe it's outline, it will show you how many words are in this
Cool.
page.
I learned something today.
Yeah.
When you run
Something-
it through Dupla Checker too, it'll also give you a count as well. So there's a couple
Right.
different places you can get your word count.
Right. Now that something changed in WordPress where we couldn't find it, and then we just found out that it was moved somewhere else.
Thank
They're-
goodness
they're-
you found it.
Yeah, good. It's funny because they change things but don't really tell you. But okay, let's go back here. Okay, so I'm just going to skim over these. No scrape content, no copyrighted material. You can put YouTube videos that belong to our affiliates as they agree to use their videos. Do not use pictures that have watermarks.
And what does
use
scrape mean?
Scrape means, okay, here's the definition of scrape content right here. So it gives you a full explanation of what scrape content is. In other words, what you're doing is you're copying content from somebody else's web page into your website, which Google does not like because you didn't write it. And
So it's
Google
like
is looking,
plagiarism.
yeah, plagiarism. They're
Copyright
looking for
infringement.
original content, things like that. Okay, so in this, in my writing here, I gave you links to show you what each thing is. Like everybody knows what copyrighted material is, but here's the real definition of what copyrighted material is. Okay, a work of authorship means original expression that is fixed in any tangible medium or expression and subject to copyright protection. So if you're going to copy something from somebody else's webpage, like 1f16.com, then you need to go in and change it because it's copyrighted material, and you'll get a plagiarism strike against you.
And that's why you have to modify all your pages.
Right. Exactly.
Almost
So
100%.
yeah, almost 100%, because we do have that one page that we don't change, which is affiliate disclosures. This is pretty much, or this is all of Rory's writing. Now you can go in and change it, saying, putting in your website, name of your website, like mine is 5e47. I didn't do that, but I didn't get a copyright strike. So that's the only page that you can keep original.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes.
If I'm going to do an add-on page, something that is my own writing,
Mm-hmm.
if I wish to quote another author, how would I do that?
Okay, so we're going to do a new page. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, say, for example, you're going to put your quote here, Okay, so you're gonna, if I can remember how, you're going to you're going to search for quote right there. Okay, then you want to put your quote in that. And it's going to, you're going to have this select quote up here. I believe. Anybody else have any input on this?
Well, whatever you're taking off from somebody else, you can put in a smaller print. This was taken from so and so, dated such and such. In other words, you want to, if you're going to borrow or copy anything from anybody, you want to validate where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's what the citation means. Add citation, which means you could probably put,
I think you need to put the location that you found it as well.
yeah.
To clarify where I'm going, so it's easier for you guys. When you said I could make some of my own pages, one of the things was I very much enjoyed the writings of C.S. Lewis. And I would like to be able, hopefully it will not be in an offense either to this group or to Google, some discussion of what C.S. Lewis wrote. I liked what the man was trying to teach me about faith and belief.
Well, you can put them in your own words too. When you're writing your new pages, most of it's going to be yours. And you can say from my experience and reading such and such, I found this. And you can write it in your own words, but you acknowledged him, but you're not copying anything from him directly. You found this to be true. You follow me on that one, Russ?
If I just said, quoting from C.S. Lewis book, I can't think of the title of it now, Mere Christianity, he said,
I think that's enough citation. As long as you mention him and the location of that quote where you found it. So his book title would be good.
I could try to quote him, and I'm not C.S. Lewis. His writing is phenomenal.
Yeah, but don't quote him.
That's,
Take the
that's
meaning of what he says in his quote and put it in your own words. That way you don't have to worry about it that much. Like I said,
as long as you,
I've quoted Rory before, and I just do the quote citation, like how Larry grabbed it right off the thing. And then I've also said, where we've heard it, where we've seen it. You can put exact wording in quotes as long as, like Donna and Tom and Larry are telling you, as long as you say that it's not something that's coming from you. It's coming from, like in my case, it was coming from Rory. I cited that that's where it was coming from, and I cited where I hear it or where I see it, right? As long as you do that, they're going to be fine with that.
And one of my pages, I don't know what the subject was. I put like number 1 at the end of the paragraph, and at the very bottom of the page, I put number 1. You know how you see, and put the person's name and where it came from.
So you actually cite it as a reference.
Yes.
Nice.
Exactly. You see, so the different ways of doing it. As long as you give them credit.
As long as you're saying that it's not, as long as you're not misleading the reader to believe that it's you, you'll be fine.
Does that sound good, Russell?
Yes, thank you. Bible quotes, just book, chapter, and verse, and claim which translation.
Yeah, I would do it that way. Just put, like whatever you're quoting from the Bible, And then you can either do it like Tom does it, putting a 1 next to it, and then down at the bottom,
Footnotes.
doing one
Yeah.
like that, or you could just, put the quote underneath the verse or whatever you're talking about.
But you don't want to fill up your page with a bunch of other
Yeah.
people's quotes. You want it to be,
Yeah.
again, like
Your
95% of yours, and that quote could be like the little 5% something.
Well, and like Tom was saying, if you're quoting an author that you really love and you want just a little quote in there, that's fine. But then you're going to have to elaborate on that with your own thoughts, feelings, and what that quote means to you. Does that kind of make sense? You're going to still have to put it into your own words.
A quote would be like at the beginning of a paragraph, and maybe the quote would lead to a discussion of that paragraph and another.
Right.
Not
And
just
then the
keep
paragraph,
quoting
yeah,
someone.
exactly. And then you're going to
and
break down what that means to you in the
and
paragraph, correct?
and before it would be published, of course, I take it to Donna, who is my instructor.
Yeah. The important thing for Google AdSense is to get all your pages modified first before adding pages. When you know those are all done correctly, all the links are good, then you can start thinking about adding pages. So don't forget to do that first, especially your anchor pages.
I'd like to also tell all the
Definitely, thank
new
you.
people, don't even think about Google AdSense until you're done with the entire training.
Remember in
Right.
triple R,
Yeah.
it tells you when you can get to Google. That's in step 4, like we're going over today.
I'm accepting. I've got a lot of work to do and a lot of questions for Donna. It's going to take a while before I'm doing any of those my own. But thank
Patience
you
is
for
a
all that
virtue. Yeah.
guidance.
Sometimes people get excited and they want to get going gung ho like you, Russell, and want to do this and the other thing, which is superb. It's excellent, but you do want to follow the step-by-step procedures that's laid out for you. Again, that I said in the beginning, the triple R 247/RRR.
If I
Okay.
wish to do a page that was photos of animals with some discussion, is there a limit to the number of pictures or photos I could use and such?
Yeah, I wouldn't do any of that before you have AdSense. Wait until after you have Google AdSense.
Remember, we partner
Point
for
taken.
content with Google, not pictures. So you want to be concerned about the words that you're putting in there, not as much. You do just like Sheila does when she's modifying, she takes out all the pictures first, and then she does the content, because that's what Google is looking at. They don't care really about the pictures. So that's what you have to concentrate on. Then you can sprinkle a picture in here and there into the blog to
Well,
make
and
it
keep
look
in mind,
worse.
guys, what Tom is pretty much saying there is that Google does not want to compete with your pictures. They don't want their ads to have competition with your images. So the smaller and less amount of images that you have is going to be better for AdSense. And like Tom says, AdSense is, we partner with them for content, which is the words. So just keep that in mind as you're going, guys.
Google thinks of pictures as a distraction, and they want you to keep it clean. They don't want distractions from their ads.
Yeah, it's the whole thing about Google is Google wants your site to conform to them. They're not conforming to you. You got to remember that. So if you want a page
Fair
that
enough.
has, if you want a page that has a lot of pictures on it, like Donna says, do that after you get Google AdSense. And be careful with that too, because Google can always come back and say, hey, there's too many pictures on this page. We can't compete with that, so we're no longer going to keep you as a partner. So just be careful with that. And that's the same with anything else that we've covered, like gun holsters or cruelty to animals or any type of content that's aimed at a child that's under 13. They can come back and say, you know what, you no longer are conforming to what we want you to do, so we're going to ban you. And you don't want to get banned because you'll never get it back. Okay. Where was I here? Make sure you have response magic on your PBS. They want to be able to see that a customer can contact you as well. In YouTube, subscribe and watch all the Google AdSense videos. They're very helpful. Next thing is, just like we were talking about earlier, place ads to get people on your PBS. I'm getting short of time here, so I'm just going to skim over this. Everybody will get a copy of this, so we'll put it in the chat and in the Donna's Evolution chat. Tells you how to get, after you get Google AdSense, what you need to do. If you get denied, reasons Google will deny your website. I've got links to their videos, country codes. You actually need to fill out a form before you can get Google AdSense because they want to know how to pay you and how to charge you, how to do taxes for you, things like that. So there are things that you need to fill out. Once again, there's reasons that they're not going to approve you. Remember, alcohol sales, we do not sell alcohol. We have a wine business or partnership. So we're not actually selling alcohol. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom here. And as this is a bottom getting ready for Google AdSense and the beginning of AdSense policies and a beginner's guide. So everything that I have here is linked to the Google AdSense webpage that explains everything about getting Google AdSense, the publisher policies, the fixed policy issues. So if they come back and say you have scraped content, it will explain. It's not actually going to tell you what is scraped content on your page, but it will just come back and say scraped content or thin content. There are things in these Google pages that I have linked here that will tell you about thin content. Definitions of.
I'm sorry for interjecting, but they did that when I was going for AdSense and everything, but lately, do they actually say why they're not accepting you? I don't think they say that anymore. They just say you're not accepting, you got to go figure it out. And I had to keep going back to the first page and first category and go through it. And back then I had over 149 pages, it was rough.
Well,
I think they do now, because I have a few students that they give them a little bit more description on more than what I got. I got nothing. I had to go figure it out myself as well. Yeah. But my students now, they are told like scraped content. They're given a few places and then they're linked with it. So they do give a little bit more information that I've noticed.
Well, that helps.
Yeah, it helps a little bit. But of course, they leave you to figure it out because you should know the policies, I guess, which is,
I guess they tell you have scraped content, but they don't say where. Right.
Exactly.
So you still have to go through everything.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that's why you want to do it right the first time. You really don't want to keep going back.
That's why I suggest getting 100% on those duplicate checkers and plagiarism checkers, because once that is 100%, you know that you're pretty safe.
Yep.
And it's harder to go through each page all over again than trying to figure out where it screwed up.
That can be very frustrating.
And what's
So-
even more frustrating is trying to find out what, what exactly they're talking about. Because like I said, they don't tell you exactly what is wrong. They just give you a general idea. So that's why, and the Google AdSense website is so big that it's hard to find stuff. So if you go through this beginner's guide, it will lead to other things. Unfortunately, you may be going down a rabbit hole trying to find what you're looking for, because unfortunately, they did not write Google AdSense in layman's terms. So it's very hard to find, especially with their policies. It's really, really hard to find a specific policy. Say, for example, like thin content. Well, basically, thin content means 300 words on a page. That's not enough content to get across to your customer. So they're calling it thin content. Well, if you go look up thin content in Google AdSense, there's very little there that tells you what thin content is. And there's a lot of things here that you probably would never use. So let's just take this one for example. If we click on it, we can go to the Google AdSense program policies. There's a lot here, but it's really hard to follow what they're actually saying unless there's somebody there to explain it to you, which there's not going to be. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have. The new stuff. I'll go ahead and put this in the chat here.
That's excellent, Larry. Thank you.
And if you guys ever have questions about this, I'll be more than happy to help you understand it. I'm not an expert on it. I'm just a person who's trying to help you out.
Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome. And there's see if you can open that, and because you may or may not be able to see it.
It opened on my end, and thank you. This is very helpful. Awesome.
Okay, and I'm always adding to it, so maybe next time I'm on, I can explain some more.
Let me see. Okay, Larry. On that, what you probably want to do is click the share button and use that link, because this one that you gave us, people can change it.
Oh, that's okay. They can change it if they want.
Yeah.
They can change it for their own use.
Okay.
You can request that people make a copy of it rather than changing, making a copy, or if they're adding something that is of benefit, then it would be nice, but not for them to just add their own notes, right? Because then it messes up yours.
Going to be changing your original, Larry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 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 Give me just a sec here.
Yeah. So you can go back in and you click on the viewer, share viewer, and then use that link. Any questions on what Larry was saying today, folks?
I'll put this in the evolution chat where everybody can do that.
Okay. You can put it back in this chat too while you're at it. While we're still on. No other questions about this. We did have a question in reference to the SHG and the placement of people underneath you. And the best thing to do right now is to actually show you that video. It's only about a minute video. So we have a lot of new people here, and if you're not in the Savings Highway Global program yet, get with your instructor. That's our third anchor now. And you want to get into that, you can get in for $20 and you can start promoting those products, which is, you know, something else to help you start getting money also. So I know I gave them this information before, but what I want to do is share my screen. And for those that haven't seen it yet, let me say, let me show you here. I got all this in the way. Okay.
Next, you're going to click
Let's
on
start
place.
this again.
Hi everybody, this is how
hear
to
it?
place a new member.
Yeah.
Once you have referred a new member, you should get an email notification. And come over here to your icons and click on Organization. Now click on Genealogy. Next, you're going to click on Placement. You'll find the member that you wish to place and come over here and click on Place. Now you will see how much time you have remaining to place them. It's a 72-hour placement system. It tells you the name of the member, and then you can either accept placement, which will go ahead and place them in the first available position in your matrix from top to bottom, left to right. Or you can click over here for the drop down and choose somebody to place the member with. So once you do this, you'll be able to click to a person that you want to place them with. And once you've done that, you can click Place Now. Within a couple of seconds, they should be placed in your matrix, and everybody above them in their matrix genealogy will get a notification up to 12 levels that that person has been placed in their organization.
Okay. Now, that'll give you the basic information of how to do it. You know, you want to go back there in the back room and look at it yourself. I don't have any people to show you, so I can't show you how exactly to do that, but that tells you how to do it. Go in your back room when you have a new person, and then go to the right and click on the view, and it'll bring that up into where you want to place it. Remember, there's only 3 underneath us. We go ourselves, and then 1, 2, 3, and then down from there, 1, 2, 3, and outwards from there. So if you get confused, that'll place it wherever you want that. Automatically, it'll place it in the first open spot. If you want it underneath for example, a student of yours, go to the right side and click the view, and it'll show, like he did, all the different people. And if you see your person's name, you know, if you're an instructor and you want to help out one of your students, that's how you can do it. Put it right under their name, and you can start helping them build.
Keep in mind, every person has to have 3 people underneath them before you go to the next level. So that's what they mean by keeping it high and tight. So don't start building just one person down, 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 down. Make sure that you have 3 people under each person before you go to the next level.
Is that clear for you folks?
Yeah, because that is not happening on ours a lot. So make sure that everyone on your team has 3 people underneath them before you go placing somebody on the 4th level, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Does that make sense, folks?
I have a question because when I saw the diagram in the back office, and I have 2 of my students on the right, and then 1, 2, 3, right? Number 1 is someone that's dripped down to me. So that's that person that's been dripped down or put under me from someone else taking the place of my number 1, 2, 3, because I got my 2, 3, which are my personal.
No. Well, yes and no. That person counts towards your 3, right? So your 3 underneath you, they each need to have 3 before you go down to the next level.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what the diagram shows, as long as I know that I have my 1, 2, 3.
That's right.
Right.
Because the diagram is confusing, because it says there, and then one of my student was put under that number 1 that was dripped down. So
that's fine. That's where they are in the scope of the whole payment system. So as long as they're under you, you'll get credit for it.
Okay, so
but your downline needs to have 3 under each person before you go to the next level.
Okay,
So make sure that you look all the way across your first 3, and then make sure that they have 3 each. Make sure that they have 3 each before you go down to another level.
And like he was showing you on the video just now, when you get to that name, it says the level on it. I know he cut off his half of the information for privacy purposes, but there's you, and then down here is level 1. You have 3 people on level 1. Now, each one of those 3 people need to get 3 people each. That's 9 people, 3, 6, 9. Then if you put somebody or they put somebody, that would be under the next level, which would be the 2nd level. And goes the same, 3, 6, 9, however it goes on.
We're helping each other build, in other words. So as long as we've got 3 people under each person, then go to the next level, they're going to get the highest amount possible. I've seen on our team that we've got some people who are just building one person down a bunch of levels, and there's each of those people only have 1 person underneath them. That's not how we build. Each person should have 3 people underneath them before you go to the next level.
Okay, Donna, you're saying that if they don't have 3 people underneath them, I don't have to worry about placing people underneath them?
Right, you place them in the first blank spot that you have on your downline.
What if this person, student doesn't have 3 yet? So I don't have to worry about putting anyone underneath them.
Well, let's say you have 2 people underneath you instead of 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and one of those two people, you want to put a person under, or you don't know what to do. If you do it automatically, it'll put it into the empty space there. So you have 3.
That seems to me to be the most uncomplicated. Just let them do the placement.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
And that's going to keep everybody high and tight. You get the most out of your downline that way.
Just let the system do it then.
Yep.
Okay, that's good for me.
I was trying to complete that, but I think I have a virus on my computer, and this thing comes up every once in a while where somebody's advertising And I couldn't hear myself or you. Sorry about that. So anyway, it sounds like you got your question answered, Rebecca, more clearly.
I don't have to worry about it. So good.
Right. Only when you want to specifically put a person under after you've got your 3, then you can choose to do that. Otherwise, just let it do it automatically on the left-hand side of the button. So placement
Okay.
automatically, and it'll put it into the 3rd one to help you build your downline.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions about either the SHG or what Larry did today on the Google AdSense?
Can I have another question?
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's, what we mentioned it at the very first part is those people that had a new PBS or reset. I had mine reset. And so I backed up everything. So when I put it back, do I put it back in the old date that I had or the new date now because it's being reset?
Well, you put it back same way that you backed it up.
Okay.
So when you backed it up, you should have been backing it up under the code editor, correct?
Yes.
So just copy that whole code editor and you start a new page, but you have already the information there, and then
Okay.
just put it back in through the code editor page.
Okay.
Everything's going to be the same. You have your keyword, you have your slug and everything. Just put everything in there.
Okay.
That way
And
you still
also
have
your date,
old ads
your
giving
original
you
date.
traffic.
Sorry, Donna. What'd you say, Donna?
I was gonna say that way you still have any old ads that you have out there still bringing you traffic.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want
And you can put
clarity.
your original date in there too. And not the new one. You know, if you're making a new page and putting in your old information, you can use that old date also.
Okay.
Okay, folks, the top of the hour. I appreciate everybody coming. Come on in next week. We're gonna have a tantalizing sensory call next week. It'll be interesting. And I appreciate everybody coming here today.
Great job, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Donna? Nothing? Larry?
Nope. Just go get your one.
Don?
I'm good.
Okay. We appreciate everything you did today, Don. Larry, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Don. I mean, Tom.